Hey everyone, and welcome. As we get older, it's pretty natural to start thinking more seriously about our health, right? We think about our hearts, our joints, but what about our brain? Today, we're going to get into the science of how to protect that incredible, complex organ of ours.
It really is the big question, isn't it? How do we keep our minds sharp and stay on top of our game for as long as possible? Well, the good news is there's some really powerful research pointing us in the right direction. But first, let's get a handle on what's at stake here. So what's this number all about? Well, it's a pretty sobering one. Dementia is actually the sixth leading cause of death in the United States. And that, right there, is why this isn't just about quality of life. It's a huge health priority for all of us. So with that in mind, let's jump into a really promising solution.
All right, let's talk about something called the Mind Diet. If you've spent any time looking into brain health, this name has probably popped up. And for good reason. This isn't some fly-by-night fad diet. It's a way of eating that's built on a rock-solid foundation of nutritional science.
The name really tells you everything you need to know. MIND is an acronym, and yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful. Mediterranean-Diet Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. But the key part is that last bit. This diet was created back in 2015 by researchers from Rush University and Harvard with one very specific goal: to help delay the aging of the brain.
What's so smart about the Mind Diet is that the researchers didn't try to reinvent the wheel. Instead, they looked at two of the most respected diets out there, the Mediterranean diet, which is amazing for your heart, and the DASH diet, which is fantastic for lowering blood pressure. They took the absolute best parts of both for brain health and put them together. It's kind of like a greatest hits playlist for your brain. So what does this actually look like on your plate? It's pretty simple, really. On the left, you've got your Eat More list. We're talking tons of leafy greens, berries loaded with antioxidants, nuts, olive oil, you get the picture. And fish, of course, for those amazing omega-3s, which are literally what your brain cells are made of. Then on the right, you've got the Limit list. Things like red meat, butter, and sweets. The goal isn't to be perfect, not at all. It's just about tilting your daily habits toward the good stuff.
Okay, the diet sounds amazing in theory. But what does the science actually say? This is where things get really interesting, because we have some absolutely incredible findings, but also some really important details that we have to talk about. So, the first big wave of evidence came from a study called the Rush Memory and Aging Project. Just imagine this. Researchers followed thousands of older folks in Chicago for almost 10 years, tracking what they ate and how their brains were doing. This kind of long-term, real-world research is just pure gold.
And the result? They were absolutely stunning. Look at this. The people who followed the Mind Diet the closest cut their risk of Alzheimer's by 53%. That's huge. And what I really love is that you didn't have to be perfect. Even people who followed the diet moderately well saw their risks drop by 35%. The connection was just incredibly strong. But here comes the big scientific question. Seeing a strong connection is one thing, but proving that the diet causes the benefit, that's a whole other level. For that, you need what's called a randomized controlled trial. It's the gold standard. So the question is, how did the Mind Diet do under that kind of intense scrutiny? And this is the twist in the story. A huge, high-profile trial published in 2023 came back with this headline. It found the Mind Diet didn't seem to slow cognitive aging over 3 years. Now that sounds like a total contradiction, right? But the devil is always in the details. So what's going on here? Why the different results? Well, a few things. First, 3 years is a pretty short time when we're talking about changes in the brain. But here's the real kicker. The control group, the one not on the Mind Diet, they also got advice on healthy eating. And guess what? They lost about the same amount of weight as the Mind Diet group. When your control group is also getting healthier, it makes it almost impossible to see a clear winner. So where does that leave us? Well, even if the jury's still out on that one specific trial, we know the foods in the Mind Diet are fantastic for our overall health. And that brings us to a bigger idea. A healthy brain really needs a healthy body. Let's start building out a more complete health toolkit. Let's talk about a word you might not know, but it's something that affects pretty much all of us: sarcopenia. It's just a fancy term for the muscle we naturally lose as we age, and it can start as early as our 30s. Keeping our muscle isn't just about being strong, it's about staying mobile, independent, and active, all things that are also incredibly important for our brain health. Now, what about supplements? It's a confusing world out there, but some things actually have good science behind them. For fighting sarcopenia, creatine has strong evidence. But, and this is the non-negotiable part, it only works if you're also doing resistance training. For sleep, melatonin can help. For certain eye conditions, a specific formula called ARADS2 is proven to work. And vitamin D can help with muscle, but really only if you're deficient to begin with. The point is, these are targeted tools, not magic pills.
Okay, we have covered so much. The mind diet, muscle, supplements. Let's pull it all together now into a simple, clear plan. A blueprint for not just a longer lifespan, but something even more important, a longer health span.
So what exactly is Healthspan? It's such a great concept. It's not just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. It's the time you get to spend feeling good, being active, and being free from chronic disease. That, right there, is the goal.
So here it is. Your 3-step blueprint. Step 1 is the foundation, your diet. A nutrient-dense plant like the Mind diet is absolutely the most important piece. Step 2 is its critical partner, resistance training. You have to combine diet with exercise to fight sarcopenia. And then finally, step 3, at the very top, are the targeted boosters. After you talk to your doctor, you can consider specific, proven supplements, but only once that foundation is rock solid.
So we'll end on this thought. Your health span, your life spent in good health, is the best investment you will ever make. So looking at everything we talked about, what's one thing, just one small step you can do today to start extending yours?